Thank you for having me today. My name is Ragulan Papi. I'm the head of enterprise for Asia Pacific based in Singapore. Communicating in the 21st century has changed quite a lot in the year 2020. And one of the major trends is that by the year 2030, there's going to be 43 megacities with a population of 10 million or more people. Traffic is increasing. The time to get to work has changed. The needs of a diverse workforce has changed as well, with more women in the workforce and more fathers staying at home looking after children. And so these trends were already established when the year started. And then on March the 11th this year, the world just radically changed. The WHO declared the coronavirus disease a global pandemic, and we just saw a lot of economies and countries go into lockdown and into this new world that we've been in for the last 6 months or so. The world in which people sat around and communicated with each other in a boardroom has disappeared in many countries for the last 6 months. It's no longer the same paradigm. And we've had to replace this with virtual experiences. And this is what Zoom has been enabling. We saw that people moved their office from the physical office to suddenly an office from home. This may sometimes be in a kitchen, or it could be in your lounge room. It could be with your kids running around behind you. We also saw educational continuity as schools as well as universities, including in Korea, have had to take up virtual lessons. We also saw a change in the way that medical and government services were delivered. And I think it's fair to say that many of these trends won't completely reverse course. We won't be going back to the old norm. Zoom itself saw some dramatic change. In December 2019, we had 10 million daily participants. And by March 2020, Zoom was supporting over 200 million daily participants. And then again, by April 2020, we had reached 300 million daily participants. We saw our annualized meeting minutes change from a rate of 100 billion to more than 2 trillion. And this has continued to grow. I just want to speak to a little bit about why video is so important. You know, in the old world, words, if you take the analysis of communications, only account for 7% and tone 38%. But body language is 55%. And that's why face-to-face communications has been so important through the history of time for humanity. And now with stable video, we're starting to experience a change, a hybrid if you like, where people can experience body language through the effective use of video. Speaking a little bit more to Zoom, if you see across downloads in April 2020, Zoom went to the top of the App Store downloads and the Google Play downloads, exceeding even consumer apps such as TikTok, platforms such as Netflix and WhatsApp and others as well, Instagram, for example. And so this meant that people had to change and companies had to change the way that we work. This was also about keeping the culture and connection at companies. This is an example of an Australian company called Atlassian, which is a large global tech company today. Here you can see the co-CEOs doing a class where they were doing painting, where people at home were painting together. People are looking to connect with each other, not only for business, but also keeping the culture and connection of a company together. Another example is the company Propnex in Singapore. This company, during Singapore's circuit breaker period, suddenly found themselves unable to sell property and switched to Zoom. And by doing this, they were able to still deliver sales of property, somewhere around 50% of previous sales, even during a lockdown period, still happened because they adopted Zoom for property sales. And then if you look further to the British Parliament, for example, they allowed the House of Commons and Parliament went to Zoom. And you saw a situation where Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, was running cabinet meetings over Zoom. And this is when we knew that this was suddenly becoming the new way of work. When governments, which are traditionally very conservative, have accepted that social distancing and virtual work was here to stay. We're also seeing a change towards different activities. And here is an example, piano lessons over Zoom. So the world has to continue. The work that we do in our personal lives and our business lives has to continue, but it's simply moving virtual. We also saw the advent of the Zoom marriage as well. As there was restrictions on the amount of people that could attend weddings, many weddings and baby showers moved online, moved virtual. We also saw, for example, Zoom marriages were now legal in the state of New York. So as you can see, life must continue. The future state, I just want to talk about that for a moment. We're now in this transition to the next normal. The world is not going to go back to the world that we've experienced on January 1st this year. We're seeing several trends. Firstly, increased automation, through which we have to support teams with more technology. The move towards virtual experiences is here to stay. What we believe is that there's going to be a hybrid in the future of both physical experiences and virtual experiences. The conference today is in fact the example of one where there is some people who are there present and many people are present virtually. And also the expectations of employees have changed. Employees are demanding increased work-life balance and will want the balance to be able to work from different locations. This could be their home, this could be their holiday home. It could be when they go to visit their family, they no longer have to take time off if their family is in another area and they can simply work from where they are. This is going to become a permanent fixture of the future. Finally, I would just say that Zoom cares about the world and we look forward to enabling the world for a future together, and we're here to connect the world virtually. Thank you very much.